side. And now into Summoner's Rift for game number 1 here between Frank and DCG. Once again, it will be a best of 5 winner. Will go on to face one of CFO or SoftBank Hawks. Of course, most likely we predict it will be CFO, as they do have the choice of who they go up against, and it's less likely to be PSG. At least that's our feelings.
Yeah. Comment on the Varus. Hail of Blades on Bard. Orca is... This is maybe he's not looking to roam as much and does want to just fist fight it in lane.
Yeah, Bard, one of those champs that can kind of just go what he wants. There's so many keystones. Yeah. Even in theory, you could go the Arcane Comet, because you're pretty much always going to land it as long as you can get the auto attack off.
Yeah, nice sweep by Orca there. Finds a ward in the mid lane, puts down a zombie ward.
Yeah, now it is going to be, of course, Cascada that gets level 2, sorry, off that first wave. So is going to help him out to the early stage of laning up against Jimmy's Ahri. Jimmy having a fantastic game on the Ahri, multiple even, up against DFM. So we know he can perform. Putting him behind will help your chances of success quite a lot.
Yeah, and in what should be a matchup that Cascada wants to play. I think they had the opportunity to take away the Ahri and went for the Smolder instead.
Yeah, and it's really up to DCG now to prove that the Smolder is a viable first pick.
Yeah.
And it's up to Frank to really show that it's not. So it is kind of going to, you have to imagine, be a bit of a battle of those sort of things. At the moment, lane favoring the side of DCG. It is the Arcane Comet on M&M to be able to more reliably land that poke, as you see there. Tide not really interacting all that much and is already taken down to half HP.
Yeah, both junglers going to be pathing to bot. Not all that much going to be happening in the top lane. And, I mean, the way these bot lanes interact, Frank are pretty much always all in. So, anytime your jungler's there, you have the opportunity to shut down any possible trades coming from Frank's side. And it might make the spot lane really difficult for them to play, because you want to be punishing the Smolder, right? But he's got the shove for now. A little bit of a CS lead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Orca. We saw this work really well for Woody in their last games, just running up mid.
Yeah. Not really an angle, though. Ahri pushed into tower. You're not ever truly diving, unless Jimmy is just taken down so low.
So, maybe a fight for the bot crab, but the bot lane of DCG feels like they have so much prio that it would be risky for Gemini to go for this. And he is so strong in these fights as well.
Oh, you know what we didn't do? And since everything is completely even right now.
Yeah.
Prediction of the series. Quick, go.
Oh,
before someone dies.
DCG 3-2.
Alright, I'm going Frank 3-0.
Wait, I'm changing my mind.
No, too late. You locked it in. You locked it in. It's too late. It's 3-2. They're allowed to lose 2 games. And this one's not even close to over. They've got a Smolder, but it is first blood, of course, picked up for Gemini.
Yeah, no flashes used from anyone on the side of Frank either. I thought it was Gemini who would be in trouble in this river fight, but...
Yeah, we've seen Gemini get a hit on Jax before too. This has got to be somewhat concerning. And now he's going to be enraged. His back did get cancelled.
And Jimmy spotting out the Xin, but because Gemini's back was delayed, there's no real hope of contesting the second crab. He's probably just going to run to his Gromp and do that, though Kaiwing is on his way. I'm not sure what for. I guess for the Void Grubs that should be up soon.
Yeah, you might want to contest them. Dragon's also spawning, so we'll see what the answer is.
Yeah.
Gemini top side, and Kaiwing just going to help Jimmy to push this wave out. Teleport as well will be coming through here from Cascada.
Yeah, both junglers are topside at this point, and Frank pinged directly on top of 665 at his Krugs, so they know exactly where he is and that he can't really trade a dragon here.
Yeah, so it looks like It's just going to be these first 3 Void Grubs going over to Gemini on the Jax, which is always going to feel pretty good. If you get an uncontested Void Grub, why not?
Yeah, I feel like Orca has to be a little bit careful. They do have a numbered advantage in mid, but an Ali headbutt Polv into the Ari charm.
I mean, gets a glacial augment off, but it's going to be the Tibbers used onto Jimmy. He has Spirit Rush. He's trying not to use it, but he's going to be forced to, as he does get himself out of there. No teleport means that he is most likely going to lose a substantial amount of minions, but at least he did survive.
Yeah,
and maybe even could have the Merc Treads. He does, so lane's just got a lot easier for him.
Yeah, and he shoves so fast with Tibbers that he will lose a bunch of this wave. Gemini actually there to pick it up, so it's not the end of the world. Tide doing okay in the bot lane. Honestly, Kaiwing's flash being down is the biggest deal out of that play, I feel like. Because Gemini froze the wave for his mid laner.
Kind jungler.
Yeah. I've never seen my Jax jungle do that.
Yeah, maybe like you get an honest Sejuani player.
Yeah,
they'll
maybe.
freeze it. Oh, Tide Flash is going to be answered. Gemini so close to finding that, but importantly, did manage to get that summoner off of Smolder, so lane's going to be a lot more scary at this stage.
Yeah, I think at this point as Tide, you just have to back. You're going to go down to any Varus Q. So he stays for some XP, and it is a cannon wave now, so it gets dematted instantly. He's probably losing this whole wave. And Eminem's picking himself up a solo plate while Gemini does the dragon. Quick turnaround in the bot lane with a little help from the jungle.
Yeah, that was so close.
Tide is, Tide's pretty far behind now.
Yeah, Dragon number 1 picked up here for Frank, and they are now 1.3k gold ahead. They've got their dragon, they've got 3 Void Grubs, and they're looking good here in game number 1.
Yeah.
To expect them to, of course, as they are... I mean, for my money, without only counting the PCS teams, I think they are quite clearly our 3rd best.
Yeah, I mean, just based off the results, the split, it's hard to argue that Beyond or DCG are stronger. Yeah,
the only real time they were faltering was when they just didn't have their AD carry, which, it changes the dynamic of your entire team. Yes, Pretender did a fairly decent job, but hold up, Tide being looked at, flat, wrong way. And this should just be a kill picked up here. Does have cleanse available, but not even going to get to use it as Kaiwing picks himself up that kill in the bot lane, but most importantly, Tide will be going down. This is more time with Smolder off the map, and more time that he is going to lose and not be able to stack up any of those Dragon practice.
Yeah, and I have no idea how Kaiwing found himself in that spot, but well played by him, and yeah, that really sucks for Tide. Gemini also going to take away 665's blue buff, but it's actually a trade, it looks like. 665 already in the enemy topside jungle.
He's Cosmic Binding.
Yeah. Orca is
doing pretty well. Oh my, Tide once again. He's going to lose his flat, which is a lot of his safety, but more importantly, it's a cannon. That's another 2 melees, and all of a sudden, we're actually looking on Orca, who does flash away. Now, Gemini might be the one that's in trouble. Doesn't seem like he has Counter-Strike available for him as Ignite was ticking, but still 150 HP remaining. Means he's going to be okay. Gets himself out. Through will come this Fate. Tempered Fate, sorry. And unfortunately, that time won't really connect on any follow-up.
Yeah,
both. It's going to be Eminem just walking away.
Yeah, both spells mistimed. He doesn't go down there without a Smolder ult. Worth a shot, I guess. Kaiwing was level 6 there, so Tide did have to be very respectful of the dive, even though Gemini on the Jax was very low. And looks like Void Grubs for 665. His bot lane did a good job just buying time and not going down.
Yeah.
Though they are significantly behind in farm now. And Kaiwing still has his ult. Has his flash back up now too. Tide, a bit of time on his still.
For sure, but all things considered, things are okay here. Full-sided DCG as well as Frank. Obviously 2k gold lead now for Frank. Means they are fairly comfortably in the lead, but there is always just this lingering threat that is the Smolder. Kaiwing's looking for a dive. Magical Journey, though, should prevent it. As Kaiwing being proactive as ever, making sure that if they don't see Orca, they're threatening something to make Orca show his hand. 6-5 going forward here onto Gemini. Counter-Strike is the answer. He does have the Leap Strike to get himself to that Vision Ward and scurry on out of there.
Yeah. Cascada having to trade really hard in the mid lane because Jimian had priority, so he needed to stop him from moving, and actually takes a pretty decent trade while he's at it.
Yeah, Rod of Ages completed now for Taco, and he's looking pretty menacing on the Gragas. Obviously, lane fairly even, but certainly because of the stop-off, all the Merc treads that Jung had to commit to, it's going to be Taco with more impact if there were to be a fight around these two.
Yeah, Gemini going to pick up the 4th Void Grub for his team. Kaiwing does have ult up, so
yeah, this is
never at too much risk.
Really resulting in much, and through will come the Tibbers. Stun even, and Jimian overstaying his welcome as Cascada's going to force once again the Spirit Rush to go onto cooldown.
Yeah,
Jimian,
I guess this is the strength of the Annie matchup. Feels like Ahri doesn't get to use her ult for anything but running away, and for now.
Of course, Annie does feel very scary, however, up into... honestly, the Varus, the Alistair,
yeah,
maybe
both,
the Aatrox, but there's a little bit of counterplay.
Yeah, both mid laners went for boots early, so neither of them finishing their Malignants yet. I think both will be hoping to get it before the next use of their ult.
Explosive Cask. Jung on point with each and every one of those sweet spots.
Yeah, gets ult out of Taco.
Oh, it's another one. I mean, Jung has been the best performing Aatrox thus far in the PCS.
Probably safe to say best performing member of Frank, maybe Kaiwing.
Yeah, I think it's hard to take it away from Kaiwing. There are some games where Jung happy games. There are also some games where Jung Giga 1v9s, so maybe it's just the nature of being a rookie sometimes. As Flash Counter-Strike lands onto 2, Cascada's in trouble. No Spirit Rush though, and we're seeing the effects of that cooldown being used earlier. Now Taco's going to join the fight. No explosive cask available for himself, but Gemini is in the wrong neighborhood. Dragon Practice coming down. Are they going to be able to give it to the Smolder? Yes, they are. What a snipe.
Yeah, just on the tail end of the Smolder ult there. That was such a nice Bard ulti out of Orca. Completely stops the engage onto his jungler and then buys time for the TP to come through, and once that happens, the fight is just over. So Kaiwing with the faster move, but a really nice Bard ult makes up for it by Orca.
And a teleport as well.
Yeah. Taco maybe going to be missing his TP. He did get back up top.
Oh, Cascada. Flash, he has the stun available. Jimian's trying to find the Flash. Jimian, you beast.
Yeah, dirty from Jimian. Cascada trying to block as much as he can with the Tibbers, but Jimian just kills him with the Ahri ultimates. And nice flash on the return for his Q there. So this looks pretty bad, specifically for Cascada here. He's got this Jax on him, but he gets knocked up into a Bard ulti, and Frank realized they just have to leave. They don't want to match the TP. I guess they maybe had an opportunity to, but decide to not risk it and just get an advantage for themselves through top. And yeah, they both actually just had everything up here, and Cascada is the one getting aggressive onto the Ahri. And I guess Jimian still just has a lot of HP on him and feels like he can go in. Flash use from Cascada doesn't dodge out of anything, and nicer flash from Jimian.
So close. Back to live though. Eminem's picked himself up a kill there. Cascada dies in our replay, dies in the live game, and now 4-1. It is almost 3k gold for Frank as they are continuing to edge further and further forward. We also saw the dragon go down during that replay as well. So now at 2 dragons as Orca damn well near kills Eminem.
Yeah, he was very low. Ty did have ulti as well. I don't think they knew quite how low he was. And we'll see what happened to Cascada here. Killing some vision, doesn't have any ulti up or his stun anywhere near being up. Flash ult from Eminem. Orca just ends up buying some time with the Bard ulti. And they get onto Eminem, but there are so many numbers here for the side of Frank.
Oh, Rift Shield picked up there for DCG. Nice smite out of 665.
So, yeah, I'm not sure how much they'll get done with the Rift. I guess we'll see now. They're going to run it into the mid tower, but Tide could not even dream of walking up to this tower to auto it right now. With an alley standing in front of it. It would just take that one auto, though.
Yep, very, very close to going down. It's just a matter of time. Opportunity going to be completed now for Eminem on the Varus. Certainly very, very strong and threatening.
Yeah.
And Malignance as well, as it looks like Horizon Focus most likely will be the second item. It has the option with Lich Bane still too, but I do imagine it'll be the Horizon. Feels a little bit scary trying to look for these auto attacks into a champ like Annie.
I saw a Reddit thread the other day about Youmuu's being bugged. I'm not sure if that bug also existed on this patch.
What was the bug?
The move speed, none of the move speed works on ranged champions.
Oh.
That might explain why we're seeing every ADC skip the item.
Yeah, every Graves does it in my solo queue games. They always have Youmuu's.
Yeah, you should maybe let them know. Or maybe for mental, don't let them know.
No, they're never on my team. It's fine. They don't need to.
Oh, okay.
They can buy whatever item they want, as long as it doesn't win them the game. I mean, Jimmy, and we said it sort of earlier on in this game, but DCG's last series, it was a 100% conversion of winning mid laner wins the game, and so far, Jimmy is winning the mid lane.
Yeah, it didn't look all that great for him to begin with, right?
No, it was kind of off the back of
Orca
some help from Kai Wing and as well as Gemini that really got him cemented in the lead.
Yeah, but he was behind as well because of a nice roam by Orca.
Yeah, and then he did find himself a solo kill, so...
Yeah. On equal footing as far as I could tell too. Both had flash, both had their ultis. And maybe Annie was a bit chunked from that fight in the bot river. Whereas Gemini didn't really participate in it. Taco kind of smelling what's up here in his topside jungle. So doesn't decide to walk up and try clear that wave or stop Jiang from taking his tower. They're just going to give it up, and honestly, DCG were very close to just taking first tower mid.
Yeah, it was extremely close. Obviously helped out by that Rift Shield, but weren't able to do so, and Jiang does manage to get himself that one up in the top side. He now has a shutdown, regardless of the fact he's yet to have kill participation. Tide, I want to see the stacks. We're at 19 minutes now.
So I don't think this is the usual Bard support upgrade,
no,
right?
this is not even close to what Bards usually build, but...
Yeah, it's usually something more defensive.
Yeah, Locket is seen fairly often. Actually, most commonly, I think.
Oh, I just mean the actual support item itself.
Oh, the Zac,
yeah.
Yeah, I think usually Slay, Bloodsong, Celestial maybe, but I'm not sure about that one either.
Bard is a champion where you can just build
whatever you want.
Yeah.
There's a few champs like that. Bard possibly sticks out as the best at it, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, really high base damage on the champ, and most of his utility comes from spells that have nothing to do with your items, aren't going to be enhanced by your items all that much. It's just whether you can land these stuns and these ultimates.
Absolutely. Kaiwing's going to land a knock-up. As Chain of Corruption does connect as well, I believe. Yeah, Eminem doesn't have it anymore. Temper Fate comes out, lands onto Gemini, onto the Jax, nice flash forward, counter-strike as he's looking for it. He's not going to find it. Tide finds himself one kill. Cascada is limping away, but Jiang will not allow it as he does go through this magical journey. But he's getting locked up. What can he find? Q1, Q2, Q3, but he's so low and he's going to be taken out as Tide gets the finishing touches. That is a shutdown once again over to the Smolder, and 3 dead Frank for only the 1 on their side, and all of a sudden DCG turning the play around.
Yeah, Jiang took so long to take down that it was looking a bit scary for a second there, but does get just the 1 kill onto the only kill of the team fight onto Cascada. Frank will hold on to their mid tower, kind of low HP bars on the Smolder and Bard, and they're pretty happy to get a dragon. We talk about getting this 3rd dragon on the Smolder being so important. It buys you so much time. to make sure you hit these stacks. And the engage was on Kriskada initially. I mean, Verisol on the Xin, I guess you're never really killing him, and good play by 665 to hold onto his ulti that whole time. And another nice disengage ult from Orca there. They commit so much onto Kriskada, and I mean, 2 people have gone down by the time they've even taken him down, running into the Smolder, Gragas, and Xin. And once Annie's ulted and used a rotation or 2, that's about all she's contributing to a team fight, right?
Yeah.
When we saw this Annie Smolder combo struggle, it was kind of when the Smolder was getting focused. I can't remember who played it, honestly.
Who played what?
Annie and Smolder on the same team? Was it yesterday?
I don't know if we saw Annie and a Smolder on the same team. We saw Annie picked up by Kriskada against a Smolder.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it was. It was against DFM.
Yeah, when you see the Smolder struggle in general, it's when he is the solo damage threat on his team.
Yeah.
And he can get focused in those situations. Kriskada not going for the Annie build we saw last time, where I think he went Shrelia's Rylai's, something like that.
Yep.
Gonna have a lot more damage this game with the Leandries being picked up.
Coming. He's going to have to pop that Unbreakable Will as he does get knocked up and slowed and queued, and he's going to probably go down. Locket does keep him alive just a little bit longer, but not for all that much, as Tide uses that ult just for good luck. And
uses his cleanse as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that is important.
Yep. Gonna
One
get the
charm
mid-tower.
now could be a difference maker as Jimmy is not in the area, so at least for now he doesn't have to worry about it. Tempered Fate comes through. That's not even close, but Taco certainly is with the flash body slam. Eminem now stuck in a place where he absolutely does not want to be. Gemini trying to turn around one kill onto Taco. Through comes Jimmy, and he does manage to land a little bit of damage there, but Taco's still living and still surviving. Jimmy now, he's got his chance to try and hit 665. It's being turned around on him as Taco does manage to get away. Tide flapping over the wall, and Jimmy's going to have to dash away with that reset he did claim from taking down 665, but DCG has turned this game entirely around, and now it's going to be Tide's turn to show what he can get done on this Smolder.
Jimmy looks so clean on the Ahri, a disaster for Frank overall, as they do a bit of chain inting. Honestly, Eminem, you can't really blame him for that dirty Gragas combo Taco landed onto him. He knew exactly where he was going to be standing, right? He was zoned away from one half of the lane by the Bard ulti, so he could easily just flash onto him and combo him into his team. And then Gemini, kind of puzzlingly, just jumps in. I think he was running away from Annie. So it maybe looked a little more suspicious from Gemini than it actually was. He maybe was just caught out much earlier than when he went in.
Yeah.
Jimmy plays really cleanly to pick up that kill on the Xin as well. And, I mean, we were kind of... Well, I was kind of worried about Jimmy going into this game, but looking very good on the Ahri.
Yeah, now if you are a Frank supporter, it feels kind of like a lot of this game now rests on the shoulders of your mid laner Jimmy on the Ahri. And I mean, he is the kind of guy that can get it done, but his work's going to be cut out from him. He does dash over, he does land the charm. He is absolutely flawless here as the game does stand, and Kaiwing, as well as Gemini, are able to just walk out after that Tempered Fate was used. And now Jimmy maybe still looking for something. He's over the wall. One usage of Spirit Rush available. Teleport coming through. Charm goes wide as Orca does flash away from it. Mum now coming down, but it's going to be everyone targeting this Gragas some way. Kaiwing dives into that tower, finds himself a double knock-up. On the bottom side, though, it's Tide all by himself. Counter-strike coming through means he's not going to be able to find the kill there onto Gemini. Tibbet's coming through. It's the flash as well from Kriskada. The Q. The Leandries burn. Eminem does go down. It is going to be a 1 for 2. Still in favor of Frank, but turning around what was more disastrous was Kriskada.
Yeah, a bunch of summoners used on both sides as well, and Tide almost takes out Gemini and honestly Jiang in that fight. Doesn't quite get over the wall with the flap. So he does go down in the end, and scary stuff for DCG, but these fights are close enough, honestly, without your Smolder being stacked yet. And this was 665, just a little slow to react with his ulti, I think. Yeah, he got a little cheeky, dodged out of the Jack stun with his E there. Well played on that, and then disrespected the charm coming out of Jimmy, which nails him, and he dies in the duration of just the Ahri charm. Tide immediately getting his flash forced out by Jiang, and this Gragas is so tanky already.
Oh, and Taco just hit Jax Aatrox into his Smolder.
Oh, is that the Gragas ult that...
Yeah.
Oh, that's a disaster.
Now Dragon number 3 for Frank, Dragon number 2 for DCG. Of course, the Mountain Soul is going to be the soul for the game, down to half HP. Jiang is on a flank here. He's found Tide and Cascada, possibly. DCG's carries have to be so careful. Whirled into pop. They've found their way onto Tide. Q2 lands, Q3 lands. And Smolder's not going to be getting executes on anyone as he's executed himself. Cascada running away. The Redemption's going to be able to heal him out, but Jiang is still going mental. Jiang is surviving. He does eventually go down to Cascada, but Jimmy is going forward. Reset after reset, and Jimmy is looking to put this one on his back.
Yeah, Jiang, no slouch in that fight either. They eventually take him down, but they lose 4 members to do it. He finds the kill onto Tide immediately, and I don't think Taco's going to have to stop a Baron attempt or anything. 7,000 damage from the Annie, though.
Yeah, an insane amount of damage coming through there from Cascada, but very similar amounts through Jimmy and Jiang. Jiang finding his way onto Smolder. Q1, Q2, Flash Q3, and Smolder is absolutely out of that team fight. Somehow DCG do a good job to turn it around, though.
Eminem no ulti in this fight as well. It's actually just whiffed completely, but Tide lands every Q onto, or Jiang lands every Q onto Tide, and takes so long to go down here. It seems like Cascada did all that 7,000 damage to the Aatrox. And, I mean, they tried to kite it out, but they've used everything just to barely kill this Aatrox.
Oh, what a charm.
Did they have the Smolder stacks, that fight?
I'm not entirely sure, but it is 27 minutes, so you certainly would hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get why they felt comfortable.
On top side, somehow, it's a 4v2, but it's going to be at least Frank picking up the first one. Kyming should be going down. We might find out about the execute stacks now as the Tibbers does go wide, but Kyming is going to be taken out. Not before Cascada, though, as everything's gone from bad to worse. Tide in no man's land. Taco now, he's running away from a very angry Jax and a very angry Aatrox. 4 people dead on the side of DCG. Once again, Jiang finds his way onto Tide, and like that, the team fight's over.
I think Taco just killed his ADC for the 2nd time this game. He ulted the Jax on top of his Smolder. Tide had kited the front line of Frank successfully that fight, and then got the Jax thrown onto him by Gragas. So it's an engage onto Orca. He gets deleted instantly this fight, so it's a 4v5. DCG still feel comfortable taking it, but it's so hard to trade the kill back onto the alley with the ultimate. It takes so long to go down. Cascada gets hit here by the Varus ult bounce as well, and watch Tide here.
He's with the counter-strike going.
Yeah. He's out here. He had kited this fight out successfully, and then maybe there's a fight to play after that. They still lose the fight, but maybe Frank don't get the Baron.
Oh, that is an absolute worst-case scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, I was criticizing how Tide died, but that is not his fault.
Yeah, no, not his fault at all. He had played that fight pretty well without his sums up.
Charm not going to connect, and you're going to feel pretty good about that as DCG. Jimmy's 408 on the Ahri, and it's seeming like a recurring theme. Ahri's picked, and Ahri is taking over the game. Chain of Corruption lands onto Taco, and Jiang all of a sudden now stuck under the tower. That's going to be World Ender gone. Tempered Fate lands. Is going to be landing here onto Jiang, onto that Aatrox. He still has this World Ender for a little bit of time. Body Slam not going to connect as Tide is going forward. He has to be so careful. Though Jimmy he's found the charm. He's found his way yet again onto Cascada, and that Annie is annihilated, immediately eliminated from this team fight.
Yeah, Jimmy completely outclassing Cascada in this game. Just finds him in a 1v3, essentially, just takes him out and vanishes before anyone from DCG can respond. And it doesn't feel like they can get too much out of the Smolder. 665 ulting in an attempt to defend his tower there.
We'll see how to ult away his bad thoughts is...
Yeah.
I don't know what really that achieved, but anyway, he did ult it, and now it is still Jimmy pressuring this middle lane, but now
Level
I think
17.
Yeah.
Jimmy 4-0-9 on the Ahri. 10 Dark Seal stacks, just everything you could hope for.
Oh, I hate the Oblivion Orb. I'll be real. I think that was a really bad purchase.
Yeah,
for him.
who's healing Gragas?
I mean, everyone's got a little bit of healing, but it's like, nah.
Yeah.
He's got the death cap now, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think
the job of Morello should be up to the Jimmy and Omari, who was just 409 and
he is up
absolutely
a lot of gold.
1v9ing.
He's up a lot of gold on this Annie. They're both at 3 items, but he's got the Dark Seal and the Death Cap, which is much more expensive than any of the other AP items.
Yeah, we'll be offering Jimmy the opportunity to find more one-shots, which he was already doing, by the way.
Yeah.
Obviously, the poke going to be a little bit harder too. Not onto Taco, though.
Yeah, it feels like Cascada needs his Banshees to make this game a little easier for him to play. And he is very short range, so you're at risk of a lot of the CC landing from Frank. Otherwise, he has to maybe find a flank himself. Or just rely completely on his flash. And DCG trying to get a front to back. They still would look okay in a front to back, despite the 8k gold lead for Frank.
Yeah, it is a lot of gold, but again, I mean, we saw this yesterday, right? It was PSG up against Beyond, game number 4, where it felt like PSG, they were up 10k gold, but they still were so hard at trying to win those team fights. Yeah. Woody and Junji having to pull out absolute miracles time after time. And at least so far, Jiang, alongside Jimmy, and have been doing much the same.
Yeah,
and Taco, I guess.
Smolder, did you see the SKT game that happened the other day where a Smolder managed to stall the game out for 50 minutes? They were down 10k. Oh, DCG 665 losing his ult. SKT were up 10k at 27 minutes, and it took them 50 to end the game. 5 Barons and 3 Elder Dragons.
Absurd.
Yeah. So DCG may be inspired by that.
Tibbers? Oh, we wouldn't have even used.
Yeah, maybe John getting spooked by this Annie that absolutely cannot fight him.
Yeah.
Using her entire combo onto him so aggressively.
Yeah, half HP and he has healing, but
yeah.
Doesn't know who's around, close, so he just chooses to immediately pop the ult and run. So which is respectable.
No Zhonya's for Tide. We see a lot of Smolders go the Seeker's Arm Guard at this point. Is just going for a BT.
Interesting.
Is hoping he can just play the fights well enough, lifesteal up, and do a lot more damage than he would be with the
I guess
Seekers.
You're worried about poke, but I think maybe even Navori here might have been pretty
more
decent
damage.
to just, well, not even, I mean, the damage, yes, but just to keep your flap up more often, because there's so much mobility in the area. Honestly, in the Aatrox as well as Charm will once again connect. There is one more usage of the Spirit Rush. The Cosmic Binding does not connect. 65 though, he's still alive, and Smolder's having the chance to stack up. Eminem though, he finds the kill into Cascada, and Gemini flashes forward. Tide does manage to survive. It's 4v3. Taka going to go down. It's suddenly 2v4. And Frank are picking up yet another team fight win. You see there the damage on your screen. It was all Jimmy and all Eminem. And one more Spirit Rush charge available, but there is no Smolder anywhere near Jimmy. So Tide will be able to completely fine to run away. But now
Tide lost his flash in that fight as well. Nice Cosmic Binding lands onto Jiang, but Tide and Orca cannot defend this inhib at all. They won't lose much more than this inhib, just because of how much wave clear Smolder has from such a large range.
Yeah, nice damage coming through from Eminem.
Yeah, and honestly, that's maybe a different fight if Orca is able to connect his Bard Q off of his ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, the timing has to be precise, right? Because it was an immediate flash, and all of a sudden, Jimmy, and he's once again found a way, some way, somehow, has taken out Tide on the Smolder.
This is kind of the Jimmy we're used to. We're going to go into the replay. Jimmy engages this play as well. 665, no ulti on the Zen.
He kind of failed his Spirit Rush.
Cosmic Binding doesn't connect onto the Ahri there. Just slightly mistimed, and Gemini shuts down Tide this whole fight, gets his flash as well, and chunks him out to the point where there's nothing left for him to do in this fight. And those are the kind of chokes you have to be horrified fighting a Smolder, but Frank navigated very well. And
absolutely they do. Now it's going to be the Bloodthirst completed for Tide on the Smolder. 4 items. That is a very, very scary little dragon to be going up against.
Yeah, no flash on him though. 22 Magi stacks for Jimmy.
Yeah, that's a very scary fox. Arguably scarier than the little dragon.
Yeah, and yeah, it looks like Cascada is Going for his Banshees now, but he's so stunted this game. Only level 16.
Oh, Timid Phelan to 3. Jimmy and playing Diversion in the meantime, as well as Jiang. Jimmy taken very, very low on the top side of that team fight, but Tide is as well. A whole lot of damage has been landing onto the Smolder. Charm does go wide. Taco able to body slam away from that, from Jimmy, and now Spirit Rush on cooldown means it's going to be a lot safer for the side of DCG, but it's a lot safer without their inhibitor in the top side, as Frank are able to claim that for themselves. 40 seconds now on the Mountain Soul, and when you're at this stage of the game, why not just confirm you get that Soul? You can then look for the remaining 1 minute-ish of your Baron to push down the bot lane, where is the only tower and inhibitors remaining on the map for DCG.
Yeah, I wonder if DCG will contest this, or maybe just give it and try defend the base. They don't have flash on their Smolder, and you know, all you need is one big fight with the Smolder where he does get his opportunity to free hit onto these opponents. I don't know if Frank are going to ever give it to them.
He doesn't build opportunity. Eminem does. Yeah. Eminem, you're going to lose that Edge of Night now. He's working towards his Shireldas, as you can see. Orca, though, he's just ended up in the pit with a Jimmy, and with an absolute glorified death. Now, oh my god! Jung with the flash Q3 just one-shots the Smolder, and Frank, clean as can be, mop up this team fight, and they're going to mop up game number 1. It took 37 minutes, but they do manage to, off the coattails of Jimmy, and get across the line.
Yeah, no chance to free hit at all for that Smolder, that fight. Anyone who has the opportunity to on Frank is getting onto him and shutting him down. Whether it's Young, Gemini, mid, even in that last fight at the inhib, he pretty much just took one Varus ult, one Varus arrow, and it took him down to 60%, and